Hi, thank you. Thank you for turning up, everyone. It's a great event. So, let's get going. So, according to the dictionary, failure is the lack of success. And I completely disagree with that. I think that we are following the sort of the lead of twisted definitions about failure and success. And the only way we can change that and actually feel satisfied with ourselves is if we change our perception and the way we think. Here is my approach of how I perceive failure and success at the same time, because there's a very small gap between them and a very little difference. So I think if we persevere, hope, work hard, take risks, and triple or double everything, that's how it happens. And also, don't forget luck. Everything depends on luck. So since I was really young, I was really passionate about two things. So number one was science, medicine, anything to do with, biology and chemistry. And my biggest dream in the world was to be a doctor, just like Dr. House, or a scientist. And I wanted to, be the one who gets the Nobel Prize. Well, the second thing was the idea of living abroad, specifically England. So I studied I was learning English language since I was very, very young. I think I was 3 years old when my mom has put me in the school to learn English. So it is kind of native language to me, even though I'm not English. But the main point here is that I decided to study in England when I was about 15. I made that decision and I said, I'm going to do this. So when I proudly announced this to my family, most of them just said, you know what are you on about? No one's going to let you in there to start with, and no one's going to want you there. But I did. I got into biomedical science in Manchester. That's the picture of me being a scientist and all. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing, but my family said, you will know what? You will not last a month. Seriously, this picture was taken on year 2, but they still said, no, not gonna last. But then I went and graduated, and that was the most empowering day of my life up until that point. I thought, you know what, I can do this. You all said to me, I can't, but there you go, there's a proof, I didn't fake that. And I think that sort of proves that the fact that, in the formula at the beginning I was showing perseverance, so I had to persevere against my parents, against my family, grandparents, and everyone's attitude and everyone's opinion on me and what I can and cannot do. And then in the end, I just got what I wanted because I worked really hard. There was a bit of luck, but obviously I worked really hard. However, when I graduated from university, I did the standard job hunting thing, and it took me about 9 to 10 months, and I found a job. I was working in a microbiology lab. It was cool at the beginning. I was so proud of myself. Oh my God, I got a job. I mean, come on, this is great. And it's also like a scientific job. But after a few months, I was like, you know what? I don't like this bacteria anymore. I want to do something else. And then I was like, I got into genetics, because obviously it's quite easy to move between different types of labs. So I got into genetics lab, and I worked there for a year until I realized that, you know what, it's not me. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I have these people sat next to me working here for 40 years, and I just don't want to be you. What should I do? Well, in the meantime, while I was working in the lab, I got into university again, and I enrolled to do a master's degree in psychology. You might say, what on earth, she did biomed, now she's doing psychology, make up your mind. Well, the reality is that I did neuroscience as part of biomed, and then psychology is a lot of biological brain processes, and I loved everything about it. So when I finished my psychology, which is not really finished yet, but I got my postgrad qualification, when I did that, I realized that I want to do something with it, and I was looking for different opportunities and options. And at some point, after I realized I don't want to be in the lab anymore, I started looking for jobs. I got approached by some people, via LinkedIn like we all do, about a job in conversion rate optimization. So it was a startup. It was a really small place. There were 3 guys and me. And they just gave me the job. They were really nice. And they said, you know what, you can do this. So I suppose at this point, I realized that I started something that I didn't plan. And I didn't really want that. I don't know, if I said to myself when I was 15 that you're going to do this now, I probably would have said, you know what, go away. You're wrong. So the 3 main lessons that I've learned and sort of want to share with you is it's okay to dream big. I dreamt really big. I come from a small country, and you know, I just dreamt all these things. I made them up in my head, and then now they all became true. I'm like, what on earth is going on? It's absolutely fine not to know what you want to do when you're a teenager. So again, I completely planned and strategized all my life. I mean, at least till I'm 30, I knew what I'm going to do every year. And it didn't work out that way. And all my friends, when we were teenagers, they were quite clueless. They were like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know what I want to do. What am I studying? I just want to take a gap year. And a lot of them did. And in the end, we were all successful. We're all doing what we like now. So there's no necessity to know what we want to do at that early age. And the last one, and I suppose the most important one, well, failing is an obvious part, but accepting it was the hardest part. So it took me a long time, I think, to realize that I'm a qualified scientist, as you say, and I don't work there. I don't work in a lab. I don't do the lab work. I don't save lives as I should be doing. I moved into digital industry. I'm using the same set of skills, but in a different way. And I'm quite proud of it. I'm quite happy with it. I think I've been working in digital for over 2 years now, and I've not got to the point where I want to leave or I'm not happy with it anymore. And with the lab work, every time after 6 months, I've hit the point where I just wanted to leave. It was not right for me. So I suppose this is the most important lesson. I accepted it now, and I'm proudly scientist, ex-scientist, if you want to say that. But I've got some really cool examples about people who failed, and I didn't really know, but apparently Oprah was fired from her very first job as a news anchor publicly on TV because she was too emotionally attached to people she was interviewing and their stories. And we all know what she's made a living out of. I mean, come on, that's amazing. Brilliant failure. Steven Spielberg got rejected to absolutely all schools he applied to. And then a few years later, I think 5 years later, he won his first Academy Award. I mean, brilliant. So finally, I'd like to say that it's absolutely okay to fail, even if it's just failing in your head, even if you have something set, you know, a plan, a strategy, and you thought, you know what, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and you turn out not to do any of them. It's fine to fail. And this is my favorite quote of all times, if anyone knows the movie. So basically, I live by this quote. I live by the fact, saying to myself that don't ever let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve what you want, because anything is possible. You're in charge of your own dreams. You made them up. You might as well go and make them true. Thank you.